Now, over the years, I've worked with a lot of YouTube creators, and there's a misconception on YouTube, especially with creators, is you need millions and millions and millions of views to really convert and make money on YouTube. And so I'm really excited about the conversation we're gonna have here today on this live stream, because I'm hoping that all creators, everyone that's watching this live stream, that they really understand that there's so much power and there's so much more you can do as a content creator on YouTube when it comes to the monetization side. All you need to do is have a really good plan of where you want to be when it comes to business, because this is a business. This is a YouTube business. This is an entertainment business. This is an education business. And ultimately, when you understand it as a business owner and taking it and making business decisions, YouTube is a great platform to really help you elevate your awareness to get people to buy. Now, I'm really excited because I have one of my students who's actually in my inner circle coming on, and she is literally crushing it on YouTube without that many views, without that many subscribers. And she's using YouTube in a different way. Now, I want to just really want to explore something with you of really how to leverage and really gain trust on the platform. Because what we want to do, regardless if we're looking for subscribers or views, we want people to know, love, and trust us, so that as we connect with them, we can have them go deeper, whether it's watching more content or buy a product or service. So really, really excited about this time, because we're joined by my student, Kizzy. How you doing, Kizzy? You are muted. I can't hear you. Are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing so good. Doing so good. So what I love about what you do is you just have this presence and energy, what I really do love. Why don't you kind of share your story of why YouTube, why you started on YouTube, what do you actually do? And then let's get into the meat of it, because I think there's a lot of people that can be inspired by the way that you approach YouTube to really level up their life and really bring in the income so they can go full time.
Yeah, I started YouTube because I thought this would be the perfect place to help people so they didn't have to go through 10 years of the mistakes that I went through in government contracting. And so I knew of YouTube, but I was very intimidated. I was intimidated by, oh my gosh, who's going to edit? How am I going to record? I don't even know what ring light to use. What am I going to say? You know, are people going to watch me? And so I started with little shorter content on LinkedIn. And I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad. But I knew I needed a channel because I noticed other people in the government contracting space were on YouTube. I mean, you know, everybody's on YouTube, but I wasn't on YouTube. So I was like, I got to get on YouTube. And so I started and I had no plan. I didn't really know what I was doing. I don't even know what mic I was using at the time. And I just went for it because I wanted to help. And it's still the goal today, is to help people understand what it takes to find, bid, and win profitable government contracts, because I've been there and done it. I have government contracting businesses, and I thought this is a great platform to help people. I have this experience. There's always something to learn. Why not? So yeah, I started.
Now, I think the big thing for me is when I go out in the world and say, hey, you know, I work with creators on YouTube. There's never a place that people would say, oh yeah, I watch government contracting videos on YouTube.
Sure
like that's like literally not the thing that they do. However, but I think that really kind of elevates the power of YouTube. And I can tell you why I love YouTube than any other platform out there is twofold. Number one, YouTube finds the ideal audience for our content. If you really understand audiences, you understand that value proposition, you're going to find that audience. And number two, YouTube literally monetizes like no other platform too. And so I really do love that aspect of it. So as you were making content for LinkedIn, you're like, hey, I'm going to look at YouTube because, hey, there is an opportunity here. What was the first hurdle that you had to go endure posting on YouTube? Because like I didn't assume that you just uploaded it and you just got a lot of views and then that led to sales. But like, what was that first hurdle?
Oh, that was definitely not my story. It was, who is going to edit this? Like, because I know the basics of editing, but that's not my forte. And I firmly believe within your budget to find somebody better than you at whatever it is that you need. And so I'm very inspired by Graham Stephan. I've been following his channel for a very long time. And I mirrored when he put out a video asking for someone to apply for a video and editing position. So I'm like, hey, if he can do this, I can do this too. And I did the exact same thing. And people responded because I didn't want to just get someone off of like a Fiverr platform. Nothing wrong with those platforms. They're amazing. Right. But I wanted somebody who could really grow with me, who would encourage me. So I didn't just post a video and then, oh, 3 months have gone by, I haven't posted another one. It's so expensive. So I posted the ad and a couple people responded and they had to provide samples of their work. And I was really blown away by this gentleman who goes by MD. And so we came up with a deal. It was very reasonable and we were off to the races. So I recorded and then he would edit and he would also help with the thumbnails. We also outsourced in the beginning with thumbnails, didn't have any idea what to do. I just knew you needed a thumbnail, you need a video, and somebody's got to edit it. And I'm just going to put it out there because, you know, somebody will like it or not like it. And that's how we started.
I love it. I love this for multiple reasons because first off, you knew you wanted to share, you did some stuff, you know, and you're like, hey, editing's not my jam and I need to find someone that can do it. And so out of the gate, you were thinking this as a business decision. And trust me, I've been around the block enough that, you know, when you really have a good idea for a business, you need to surround yourself with people that can actually facilitate that idea to come to fruition, right? And so, you know, I know that a lot of people here on the call and then this live stream would generally say, do you know what? I'm just a YouTuber. I'm already good at editing. I'm good at storytelling, or I have that passion that I want to develop it. And I don't need an editor. However, they might need something else to really help them elevate. It could be someone to help with ideas or thumbnails or something that's there. And then two, you know, doesn't mean you need to employ them full time, but it could be contract work. Did this person start out as contract work or was it 100% full time?
It was contract work and it was very small in the beginning because I only had a handful of videos and then I only was posting once a week.
Yeah, so just contract work, and they're helping you get, you know, at least your content out quicker because you would have probably been stuck into searching up YouTube videos. How do I edit a video? like get that done. Yeah, that's really cool. So so anyway, you started on YouTube, and did it magically start, you know, getting you leads? Because your business, I would assume. Why don't you kind of explain what you do, and then did YouTube actually do that right out of the gate?
So one of our businesses is GovCon Winner. So we help people with coaching so that they know how to find, bid, and win profitable government contracts, especially, and these are people who are brand new to government contracting, maybe somebody who's won one contract or somebody who has millions of dollars in contracts and they just want more. So in the very beginning, didn't get a lot of attention. It was every now and again, I saw your video because I just put out what I had. I had conducted some interviews, so put those out. I maybe put out a couple other videos and
so
nothing
you're just
happened.
Pretty much like every person that's like, I got content, I'm going to put it here. There'll be a library of content. They'll know what I'm doing. And you treated it that way, right?
Yeah, I was like I'm organizing books or something, you know, alphabetical order. I'm like, I'm just throwing this out there. It sounds good, you know, why not?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people they're like, hey, you know, I go speak, I go train, I have these coaching sessions. Let's just put them all on YouTube because that's where it is at. And I'm like, please, for the love of everything, like, let's not do that. Let's be a little bit more strategic on this. So you did that, and you had a few people that just, oh yeah, I saw your stuff, and you probably emailed them to go check out the video, or there might have been some other way that they're coming in to find out about you. But what was the moment that you go, wait a minute, there's something interesting about YouTube? Did you see somebody else was succeeding on the platform, or did you experience something? What was that moment for you to go, hey, wait, I need to really start understanding what YouTube is?
There are two moments. It was in April and it was in September of the previous year. And in April, we decided to post every day to boost watch hours because it took a few months to get monetized.
Right.
So I noticed, oh my goodness, people are watching this content. Like people are really enjoying this because again, it's government contracting and I'm super passionate about it, but I'm like, I don't know if anybody's gonna watch. And so I noticed, wow, people are watching, people are reaching out to me. There's something here. And then in September, I attended a challenge by Myron Golden, and he had talked about that his YouTube was stagnant, and then due to your amazing coaching, it blew up, and he was going over his revenue numbers, and I was blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, he had a channel for like over 10 years and didn't really do anything with it. And I was like, who is this coach? Who is this person he worked with? And he shared your name. And I was like, okay, I got to do something because this isn't a coincidence. He's an entrepreneur, an amazing entrepreneur. And clearly I need to do this because I'm missing out.
Yeah, so Myron's story is pretty interesting. I hope to have him on sometime soon because he's just a magnetic person. But I think at the end of the day, it's like where we put our attention and focus, it will translate into something. And if we put our focus and energy on YouTube in the right way, it's going to connect. And one of the first things that I would say with anyone that has a business that are using YouTube for your business, it would be this: your customer who buys from you is not the same customer that is your viewer on YouTube. And in fact, it's far broader than that. And it could lead to maybe a segment of those individuals will be your customer one day, but there's a new sense of avatar of your customer that you don't even know. And for me, that's what Myron figured out. And he was able to say, oh my gosh, it's so much greater. And then his passion for his content just elevated across the board. And so you basically started to know, okay, YouTube's serious. Let's take it this way. You did something that in April that most content creators don't really see. And I don't know if you guys caught this, but she says, I need to get my watch time up. That's something I preach. I was like, I would rather have more watch time than more views. Like if we can get that watch time number up, that's loyalty. That is something that people, that's hard to do. And so you were able to see, oh, I'm posting more, but people are actually watching the content that I'm doing. And it wasn't this other stuff that you were just kind of putting into a library on YouTube. It was very intentional. And then what was the moment for you that you say, okay, let's do this the right way. Let's really focus in on the content. And then what was your strategy? And I know some of it, you learned from me, but I think you're learning along the way too. What was that strategy to say, okay, I'm going to take YouTube seriously now. We have enough videos. I got some support staff. What am I going to do to really speak to that viewer?
It was like everything coming together because.
No, I'm still here. I was just
No worries, no worries.
I was letting you take
okay.
full screen real quick.
Oh, I love that. It was everything coming together where by this time I heard of Daryl. I signed up for his Channel Jumpstart program, have MD as an editor. And I started going through the program and I realized like, wow, it's not what I thought. I thought, oh, YouTube, people post all kinds of content and they receive their revenue through the channel and that's it. Or I didn't, and I knew businesses bought channels but I had no idea. Going through your training and coaching, it hit me. I'm like, oh, I have to think about all of this as a business and an ecosystem. And this is part of it. it's a huge part of it. And so while that was going on, I got so much attention, so many emails that I ended up starting a Facebook group. And in less than a year, I have over 4,000 members in my Facebook group.
So great.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. And so that's when I started taking things serious.
So let's kind of break this down, because I think one of the biggest things that I do whenever I get a client, whenever I mentor a student, is like, tell me what your finish line is. Like we can reverse engineer to get to that finish line once we understand it. And a lot of people are like, I want 1 million subscribers. I'm like, that's not really a finish line. That's just, that's something is a byproduct of a finish line. Let's go deeper with it. And then, when we had the conversation, it was like, hey, there's this huge opportunity that changed my life. I have this other business over here. I want to help inform other people that were like me, scrambling to do it, and knowing that, hey, these government contracts can transform your life. And I want to be able to create awareness of it, but also help them navigate the problems that I had to learn along the way. I'm like, okay, that's huge value. Okay. And so as we're trying to do the finish line, it was, okay, I want to coach, I want to help them get to this point, but you actually had a value ladder of where you were going to help them deeper along the way, which was part of your other business over here. So like this business was more about awareness and coaching. This other business is more about partnering. And it was like, okay, it's a win-win. So you had clarity on what you're going to do. And that's what I would say. It doesn't matter if you're a content creator or a business, you need to have clarity of why you're doing things, because you'll become more intentional. And then, once we had that conversation, Kizzy, like, how did that shift your content strategy? Because I think that's where I felt like you were more intentional with your videos prior to just, we need to get a video up. We got to get watch time going, so.
Yeah, definitely. It all really clicked where I'm like, okay, I have to work on my storytelling, and I need to provide more hope by featuring people who have actually won contracts, who were like how I was 10 years ago. They were scrambling, they didn't know what to do. And then whether it was from my content or my coaching, they were able to win a contract. And that made a huge difference, as well as I started pulsing my Facebook group and taking note of all of the comments on my channel to really understand, okay, I should create more introductory type content. I should look into incorporating some lives and doing more things live so they can really see how I do this. And so now it's way more intentional than it's ever been.
Yeah, and I think too, there's a lot of people that use YouTube as a sales platform, and you had to make the decision: do I give away everything and tell them exactly what it is, or do I hold it back? And you went through, I'm going to just literally share everything with them, and for a lot of people doing business, is like, why would you do that? Like, how are you going to make money on the back end? But when you do it that way, it's just like, hey, I really like what she's doing. She's had success over here with these people. I want to be a part of what she's doing. And I think that's kind of the mechanism that we're looking for as much as possible. And I can't tell you how many people, if I give it all away for free on YouTube, they'll never do anything. I'm like, it's organized differently. There's different personalization that you can do. So like, I think that alone is so great. And so for me, Kizzy, I think it was be willing to help them regardless if they become a client or not. Right. And you wanted to elevate it because your why was, it changed my life. It changed the lives of those that I've been working with. And it's their stories. And we want more stories to be there because there's actually more opportunity out there that's not being fulfilled. Like there's literally government contracts that don't be fulfilled in the right way, that they're looking for an ideal person to be a part of that.
Yes. So. It's so true. They are. And it fuels me every single day. I mean, I'm super passionate. I love government contracting, and it's amazing. You can literally start your business, get a cage code, win a contract, and you're off.
So when did it start to translate into, I got something here that is a great lead generator. It's a great conversion tool that's gonna, making money on the back end. When did that happen? Did it happen in the beginning, or when you were a little bit more intentional?
when I ended up being way more intentional, because people would contact me, oh, do you have a coaching program? Do you have a course? Can I get one-on-one coaching? There was always that. And I didn't really know. I didn't really have anything. I didn't have some funnel and upsell and downsell. I had none of that. it was all just kind of, hey, I'm here, and so
You're like waving. Hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm just here.
hey, I'm here to help you. And so I decided it was a couple months ago. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have my first challenge. I'm ready to do this. I'm going to do it.
Well, let's talk specifically this, because you're actually at my house when you decided to do this. Like we pulled out the board. I think the board's over here, right? And we're like, okay, let's map this out. If you're going to do this, let's literally map this out. And so we mapped this out in a way that made sense, and then we gave you some examples of what that could look like, right? And part of it was, and this is really important in anything, it's like if you could do a challenge and people can see success within that challenge, what is that next stage, right? And you pretty much mapped out. I mean, it took us a couple days, but we got that thing mapped out where I don't know much more what you can do after that. It's just like it's going to be a lot of work. But so you map that out and you say, okay, this is how we're going to capitalize on it. And then, I mean, that literally was only a couple months ago, and you're stepping into the stage of executing on that. What did you do first? Was it something that it can buy? Was it coaching? What was the first thing that you actually did?
The first thing that I did is I thought, okay, I want to help get people ready for this particular program, because I know that's one of an upcoming book. It's the bigger upsell. So I'm like, what can I do now? Well, what I can do now is leverage a challenge to then sell a 2 or 3 month long kind of live coaching program, and where they'll have some pre-recorded content and get a bunch of, of course, templates and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay, it's my first one. I'll sell it at a price that I landed on previously. Why not? And the challenge I charge, so it's $297 for VIP, $97 for executive. So before the challenge even started, we had a few $1,000s in ticket sales. I was like, wow, I can't believe people. It's like, I can't believe people paid for this, right? It's just this shock thing I think we just naturally go through. And so then that challenge, we ended up with, I think, close to $30,000 in 1 week. And I was like, this is amazing. I can't believe this. And then the next challenge was over 50. Right. And then this recent challenge is over 100. And these are just the challenges. This excludes the $49 video, excludes the $7 download. Exactly. It excludes everything else. I mean, it's just blowing my mind. And also at the same time, the offering has evolved. And so, because it's always about what's most important for them and what's the fastest way to get them to a contract.
Yeah, and I love it. And so let me just kind of translate this for the people watching, because we have a lot of creators on. They're like, I don't necessarily have a business. I'm just putting out videos. The first thing that I do is, how are we going to monetize? And if all I do is say, oh, I just want to monetize through ads, I'm not doing a sustainable business, because there's too many variables there. It's like, what is another variable we can do? And so I always look at it, and I look at what can we do in person, what can be physical products, what can be digital products, I'm looking at all the creator economy ecosystem. I'm like, okay, how do we do this right? And so creating a plan, and then having it available in the right sequence. So the thing that most people do is, well, I did merch. Well, let's not do it that way. There might be something better than merch right out of the gate. Like what is that entry level? And for you, it was like, okay, let's figure out a way that they can have something very quickly, in a way that they're able to consume and get something of value. And once you figured it out, you did it a couple times, and before you know it, you had couple $100,000, you know, from it in a short amount of time that led to the next stage, you know. And so I've had students that come on and they're passionate about something, and they got $250,000 in a GoFundMe like within weeks, because people can get behind things. And so I want you to always, as a creator, look at, okay, how are we going to monetize? Because this is a business, and if you only rely on ad revenue, that is a very vulnerable business, because you'll have ups, downs, and sideways, and sometimes they'll even shut you off. So you just got to like, how do we monetize outside of that? So ultimately, Kizzy, you had the plan, you've taken action in that plan. You even pre-sold a book. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because like that alone, I'm like, okay, that wasn't a part of the plan. I know you were supposed to do a book. You know, I didn't even know about this pre-sale thing. So let's talk about that.
So before going to Daryl's home for the in-person coaching, I had already created, which I call like my mixtape book. So it's before I had a label, right? This is my mentality, thinking like a musician. And I already had it created. I knew I was going to sell it. I thought, hey, I'll figure it out and do that. And I decided to create a pre-order website. And then I'm like, well, let me do some ads, because just the little bit that I know from ads. And I also want to add, I haven't never used any ads for my channel, never used ads for my challenge. Like, I've never used ads.
I always discourage ads when it comes to that, for sure. 100%.
Yeah. So I was like, well, let me try with the book, do $50 a day, so that when it comes time, as the business evolves, we'll have an established ads account. So started running some ads for the book, winnerswaybook.com. And next thing you know, I only have a few purchases, and I'm like, okay, but then I'm getting all of these book pre-sales because of the channel. I would mention it every now and again on a live. I mention it in a pre-recorded long form, and in just a few months, we have 400 pre-orders. And it's amazing. I mean, everybody gets really cool free content, and I've received a lot of feedback on the free content. So they definitely get this added bonus for pre-ordering. But it still blows my mind that 400 people have pre-ordered for this book.
So here's the real question. Is the book all written yet?
It is all written.
Good. I was just like...
It is all written. I just have to do, and I found a publishing company because I didn't really have one.
Yeah, that's great, because it's like, I love people taking action. I'm like, okay, but did you write the book? Yeah, you can sell it. Like, did you write it? What I love about YouTube, there's several things that I love. There's no other platform that people can know, love, and trust you. Like let's look at Instagram, for example, and it's not like me downplaying Instagram. Instagram is an Instagram moment. It's like not even reality. like when you really look at it, it's like picture perfect, you know, just this whole thing. And now they're trying to become TikTok or whatever. But at the end of the day, what I love about it is, with long form video, is you get to know deeper about the individual, and then too, that trust level's there, where, hey, you have something that's long, even though that you really wasn't pushing it in videos, it was just there. You still actually got people to buy, and it was outperforming your ads. Did your ads even perform?
I mean, they performed a little bit, like they have, but the vast majority has come from YouTube.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can tell you, when I launched my book, and we'll actually pull it out here. There we go. The YouTube formula. Hopefully you guys have this. In fact, anyone that doesn't have it, I'll pick one or two of you to give you a book, just because that's what I do. But we got on the bestsellers list, and I didn't even do any ads whatsoever. Like I'm like, I don't want to say I'm anti-ads. Like, I do a lot of ads for different projects that I do. I think it has its right place, but I'm like, you know, for me, I want to get it to the right person. And for me, it was about that core audience, but it was a strategy of how to actually have an organic. And I had an organic strategy, I did no paid lift, and ultimately we got to the bestsellers list. And this is on a very difficult bestsellers list, like Amazon bestseller. I mean, I can do that in 2 seconds, you know, like that's easy, you know. But to go on a bestsellers list that's not curated, is actually done by numbers. It's a pretty big big deal. So like that was really cool. What we'll do, John Pullum, could you just pick one person or two, and let's go ahead and just put their name or whatever, and I'll put them in there, and we'll get them a free book on it. And so, Kizzy, so you've done the pre-sales, so things are starting to work in your direction. Not saying they weren't before. It's like you had a plan, you created a roadmap, you realized, okay, here's ways that we can monetize. You brought in a couple $100,000. You've had the stages set, and now you're executing on it a lot faster than I thought you would. Like, no offense, but I was like, hey, but now, yeah, it's delivering on that book, you know, and going deeper. There was another conversation that you and I had about trying to do everything yourself versus, hey, there's a service out there that already does a lot of these things. Let's look at a business opportunity where we can kind of combine forces in a way, whether I get a portion of everything that they sell. Do you want to talk about that? Because I think a lot of people don't think this way. I think they think, oh, I just need to do everything myself, or I'm going to refer people there, and there's no compensation when you do refer to that. And I think that's a really powerful lesson that a lot of creators and business owners need to understand.
Yeah, there's a couple of things, because we're gearing up for the big book that we talked about. We're gearing up for these really cool additional coachings. And I thought, well, yeah, I can offer coaching. It's amazing. I love doing it. But how can I take that to the next level? So two things stand out. One is having kind of an affiliate arrangement with a very important piece in government contracting to get a certain set aside. So I have a contract with a company to do that. Then also,
could we talk about that real quick? Because
yeah,
I think this
of
is
course.
really important. So they weren't offering an affiliate program before the conversation, right? And so you went to them and said, hey, like, offer an affiliate or am I going somewhere else? Like, what was the conversation like? Because I think this is really important.
And so this is a firm I had actually used 10 years ago to get this certification. And I thought, okay, they got me the certification. They're still in business 10 years ago. They're still getting people these certifications. They are clearly an expert in this area. And I asked them, can we have some type of arrangement? Because I already knew people were going to them, right, just through my coaching and through the channel. And he was like, of course. So I get a percentage of all purchases. He had no problem with it. He was like, you can draw up the contract. I was like, okay, great. I mean, he put everything in our hands and we took care of that. Then what I also decided, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I want to just do this. So there are companies that would love to have sales, and they see an opportunity. Over 10 years ago, I saw one of these companies, and they didn't have an affiliate program. And I went to them. I says, "Hey, what would affiliate program look like?" The owner, founder of this company said, "You know what? This is interesting," and they were willing to actually participate where they were able to create an ecosystem that got other people talking about their product. And they weren't even considering it before. And I worked with them very specifically. That company is called TubeBuddy. And I'm here to tell you that I've made so much money with TubeBuddy because I'm the one that brokered that first thing. And then two, I got all the sales out of the gate in the beginning. You know, it's just like there's some catch up after the fact. But you gotta always ask. And you took the opportunity and says, hey, look, I got a great story. I used you 10 years ago, and this is where I'm at. I'm going in this position. I want to lean into my story and bring you leads. And their commission, like percentage wise, what are they looking to pay you, to send people their way?
It's 10%.
Yeah. So 10% guaranteed is going to cost them nothing because they use that 10% anyway to try to advertise, and it would subsidize whatever they're doing, and yet you're going to put it in your pocket as you're going from that funnel, And so for me, it's always asking those conversations. And I can tell you, when I had that conversation with TubeBuddy, it was like, oh, we never thought about that. And then, oh, this is a great idea. And then, oh, this is a really good idea. And then, oh, we got more people than we've ever had before. Oh, we need to get more people out, being affiliates. And I'm like, okay, I can help you with that too. So it's like it changes their business model. And especially when you have a huge influx of transactions, right? Changes their business model. And then two, you can always ask for more, but I think anything is better than nothing, because they're going to go somewhere. They're going to need the service, right? And so that also did another thing, and I want to talk about this, because this is something that you did too. You basically said, look, let's do this affiliate program to 10%, but if you refer people to me, what was going to happen?
I didn't even chat with him about that.
You need to chat with them about
I
that.
know, I didn't.
Because they're going to send you leads too. Because if you line their book, it's going both ways. It's just like, when you do that now, Kizzy, you got to do that.
I will. That
was part of the plan. What?
I know
We did it. There's a lot to the plan, so I won't hold you. I won't hold you accountable. But if it's a win-win, if you're sending them business and they're sending you business, and you're both making money at it, that is the killer for sure. So cool.
Yeah. And it's definitely something to not only further explore with them, but also with people who've gone through our challenge, students that we've had. So it's something that I really want to grow out there, having affiliates and ambassadors on our behalf.
So, you're getting monetization strategies there. So you're like, okay, bringing them in, you're making money here, and then you're making money there, and then you're even making money referring, because you've really mapped out what they needed to do to actually be qualified for that government contract work. And your goal is, let's get them qualified. But more importantly, let's not just get them qualified, because there's a lot of people get qualified, but they never get the government contract. Let's help them get that government contract. And that's where the coaching program goes into it, as well as getting that, put together. So when you map that out, and you're starting to get excited because you're seeing the money come in, and you're diverting resources to help their journey. How does that make you feel to know that, hey, this is working, and yet it's not all the way complete, but it's good enough to where we have that next stage and getting that next stage done?
It is, I would say, equivalent to like that. It's like a 3,000-pound gorilla being on my back, because I was very unhappy with things in my life. And so from everything that's happened, it's like the gorilla's gone. I'm super happy. I'm like in my zone. And it brings me so much joy knowing what we've done in such a short amount of time, as well as being able to partner. That's another element, and another revenue stream is through special joint ventures. I may even look into purchasing some type of acquisitions down the road with some of these firms. That I love so much, that it's even bigger than just monetizing. It's giving me this happiness and fulfillment that was not there before.
Yeah. And let's talk about that, because before you did government, like you got a government contract, before that even happened, where were you at in life?
I was a grad student. I was almost Dr. Parks. Yep. And I was a graduate research fellow at Patrick's Air Force Base. That was their name at the time. And I was working underneath a professor who was from a school in Tennessee. And I just thought, oh, this is great. I have this internship, and I guess I'll get a big girl job and be Dr. Parks and work somewhere and pay off all these student loans I have. And that was my plan.
Yeah. And how did that work out for you?
It went nothing like I thought.
Yeah, I mean, that's life, right? And then too, the debt incurred, and you're like, okay, what do we do? And so what I love about you, and I wish everyone on this live stream would take this element of you, is as soon as you have a path, you take action. Like that's why, I invited you to my house, and like you're just an action taker in every regard, but you're an energetic action taker. Like when you just get even a sliver of success, you're just like, okay, what's next? What's next? Like, okay, calm down, Kizzy. Like, let's take it down 10 notches, but you went and you crushed an industry, and then two, you build it up to be very, very successful. And then you're like, okay, what's my next challenge? And you're looking at this as your next challenge because you already did that before. It's like you've done it enough. You weren't being challenged, and that's part of your DNA of to be challenged. And you look over here and you're like, okay, I'm gonna crush this. And it was like demoralizing a little bit because it's a little bit different than you've ever done before. You're like, I know I need to do this and we need to make this happen. But once you started to put the attention on who the viewer is, where the viewer's at, they're like you 10 years ago, and they're trying to make a decision here, and you're trying to help them. And then I was able to see kind of like the lights click on for you. But the moment that you're like, okay, this is working, that's when it's like nonstop. And so the challenge is going to always be, in every creator's journey, the challenge is going to be how do you become better? How do you level up? If you're going to be just satisfied with where you're at, it's just going to be stagnant, right? So it's like, how do you level up? And I've just seen a huge transformative journey that you're on because things are working in a way that you're discovering, hey, this plan is working. This is taking me where I need to be, but this is just a foundation or a step to what the true potential is. And that true potential is the bigger impact that you can truly have. And so like, I love that. And I think there's a lot of creators can really get some energy from it. But what do you need to do today to ensure the success of tomorrow? Let's talk about that for a minute.
The biggest thing is, for me, it's mindset. It's mindset, it's faith, and it's wellness. Hands down, if I'm not in a good place, then I'm not going to be able to provide a lot of value in a video or live on YouTube. So I'm constantly thinking about that person 10 years ago, the person who writes a message that says, oh, I don't like my job and I want to do government contracting. Can you help me? Or, oh, I saw one of your videos and because of you, I was able to XYZ, get this cage code. And it's just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, I'm really helping people I got to keep going. And so that's what's number one for me, is all about mindset, wellness, and my faith.
Yeah, I love that. So let's talk about mindset. How do you get into the right mindset, before your videos? Because I think there's so much that happens in life that kind of pulls us out and then takes us down a little bit. Like, what do you envision, or what's your process to get in the right mindset?
I think about my viewer, because I take a look at average age, the videos that they watch. I get a vibe of them from the comments as well as in other mediums in which they reach out to me. And I'm like, okay, this is for them. This is not about me. This is for them. And I remember one time J-Lo was being interviewed and she was saying that regardless of how she felt, she's like, I had to go on stage. I think this was when she had her residency in Vegas.
Yep.
And I'm like, I channel my inner J-Lo and I'm like, you know what? She's right. Like, this is for them. Like, you just got to go out there and you got to perform, Kizzy. You got to do what you need to do. And so I just hype myself up and I go and I just am me, which is also really freeing, is I'm not trying to be anybody else. It's just me. And to incorporate what I've learned from you and just to give them the greatest value, more value than anyone else in government contracting. Right. That's always my goal.
That's right. And for free too. I mean,
yes.
You're just not holding back. You're giving them exactly what they need there. Like I can tell you it's a hard business being on YouTube. It is. It's just like when you really, hey, if I'm flat in all this work, then are we going to scrap it? If people, are they going to be able to see that I'm having a bad day? And, there's just so many different issues from there. And to hype yourself up and realize, okay, is for that viewer. It's for that one person. In fact, you created this avatar of who they are so you can speak to them, because you basically 10 years ago is that same person. It's just like, hey, they're here, and you want to help yourself. You want to help yourself back then, and so you're like really relating that to get the energy. What I found is when content creators get systematic in their content creation, they take the passion and the heart out of the content. And what I mean by that is, it's just work and I'm going there, but they don't realize what their work is. And if the energy level is not where it needs to be, it's going to impact the product. And so how do you bring that up? And I can tell you, I've done so many different productions over the course of my career, and worked with so many different YouTubers, and everyone kind of has their jam of when it is, of how to get ready, how to perform, and they know their place when it comes to that, and they get into the right position. And sometimes is to interject energy somehow, in that. For you, it was just visualizing that person that injected energy of how you're going to help them. With somebody else, I always try, how am I going to make someone laugh in a video, or how am I going to get someone to think in a video? And so that's the reason, that a lot of creators will do is like, oh, this would be super funny. That would go from there. And they kind of envision that a little bit to perform. But I think at the end of the day, it's a hard industry to get to, but getting in the right mindset when you are shooting is critical. Okay, so that is really, really great advice. And then two, like coming onto the platform and engaging with your viewer and reading the comments and doing these Facebook groups, has it helped you understand them better for you to bring them better content?
1,000%. 1,000%, because early on, I created what I wanted to create.
Yep.
And it was the worst thing to ever do. And
let's unpack that. Why was it the worst thing?
Because it wasn't where they were. It was creating from where I was. It wasn't where they were 10 years, where I was 10 years ago, where they were. And so it's like, okay, wait a minute. Where are they now? What do they want? Oh, they want a topic on how to write a proposal. Okay, great. They want a topic on why the government would even buy from them. It's like, oh, okay. It's like driving. You forget the nuances of driving until you get into a completely different car, or you have to teach someone. Yeah. And so it was very eye-opening.
Yeah. So, this deals with a lot of people that are educational based, or they're trying to help someone. It's not necessarily entertainment in that regard, but it's just like, hey, where they at in their journey. If they're just discovering, they're going to be at a different point and ask different questions. So like for me, I always like to look at the people on this live stream right now are at a different state than the people that just like, hey, I'm going to upload a YouTube video, because like you've been doing it for a while, or you wouldn't be on, watching this, this channel. But, I'm going to get serious about it. So we're all at different stages. And so you just basically said, oh, I was creating content, but it wasn't hitting because I was only making content that I would like. And it would connect with me. And that is one thing that I'm telling you that I go in depth on, because you're a student of mine. But it's like when you don't do it for someone else, you only do it for yourself, then don't expect more than one view. And I mean that, because like when you do it, like what JLo was saying, hey, the show must go on. There's people that are coming here for the first time. I want YouTubers to create content for that new viewer. And I'm like, I want them to say this, like every person that's watching it, like I want to say they're a brand new viewer being introduced to me. How do I want them to receive that video? Where do I want to engage them, whether it's information or entertainment? How do I want to pull them in? And how do I want to do it so much that they'll want to watch more? I want to share, what's that moment that this new viewer is going to share this video with someone? When you start thinking like that, your content's going to elevate. And I think that was a transformative moment for you to realize, oh, wait, I'm making content for the wrong people, and I need to focus in on this. And getting those questions helped you elevate your content. And then what happened to what magically happened to your attention? Like what happened to your watch time during that?
It all changed. I
Yeah.
mean, when I started to create for the audience and when I incorporated what I've learned from you, and it just, everything has changed. Everything. It just, everything in the sense of watch time, and just the stat of the returning viewers tend to be my subscribers. And just putting in all of this time and energy into the long form, it's way more time and energy is still to come.
Yeah.
So that's the other piece, is it's not like I've reached the top of this mountain. It's like a forever mountain. But I love mountains. So hey, I'm on this mountain for a while. So it's like really cool to see that. And then they engage, and then I'll recognize the names. They'll come into my live stream or in the Facebook group. So it's like this community is happening. So it's not
Yep.
just simply, oh, I watch her content, that's great, but it's like this whole community growing. I'm still blown away. I'm very blown away by this.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And there's so much that we can do with this. It's just like when you're on the path, you're gonna have better ideas. And for me, I was just on a consult before we jumped on here, and it was with a YouTuber that had some success a couple years ago. And like, how do we replicate that? And there's so many people that focus in on the title, thumbnail, and the idea, but they don't give any content ideas within the video. And I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of great ideas that would merit content 20 seconds in a video that doesn't merit a whole video. And so we gotta look through that as much as possible, because when you do that, that elevates your content. You not only have a great thumbnail and a great a video idea for a title, but in the video itself, you have moments that engage them at different times that don't derail them, but actually go deeper. That they're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. This could be a moment that is more shareable. And so that's what I always try to look at. Is once I have a good idea of the title, thumbnail, then it's like, okay, what are some elements that we can do to bring more value? Whether it's to inspire, to educate, or to entertain, like what can we do there? And then for me, I'm always looking at how do we actually make a shareable moment in that? What are they going to share? And for you, what are you going to share? Like what is the content? Like when you're thinking about that for the viewer, what are you hoping that they share?
Oh, I'm hoping that they share some of the how-to videos. I think that's a big one, that they share the interviews, because the interviews they're all based around hope. And so they share it with their friends, family, colleagues, and like, look, this person was able to win contracts. Why can't we win contracts? And so that's what I think of as hope, the technical piece that they share. I can't believe she's even talking about this on here. I always reference my hair. So I do like when they share little clips of my hair. That's always fun too.
You know that, I mean, yeah, just getting those audience engagements that are anticipating. Okay, we can do this, or they make a meme out of some of your stuff, which is great. But it takes them along the path of being a viewer to an active viewer, right? And that's what we're looking for as well. Well, look, I think there's a lot that people can learn, and so you were doing stuff on YouTube. You uploaded a lot of videos. You got very more comfortable with it. You started to outsource some things that you're going from there. And then you created your business plan. And that business plan was very in depth, and you've executed on it. And you were able to not only execute on it, but you're able to succeed higher than what you projected. And what did that do for you in your content strategy on the back end? Because I think you're putting the plan here. Did you kind of analyze, oh, this is working here, or I need to do more of this there? What was the decision factors on that side once you started to execute on your plan?
It's starting to look look deeper at the different analytics to see, okay, this kind of thumbnail works. Oh, we need to do more videos. Okay, doing certain kind of lives work. So it's being really more meticulous around it, as well as, oh, that didn't really work. And things of that nature. So it's much more focus instead of just throwing things out there. Now it's more of, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I'll try something, kind of experimental every now and again, but yeah, way more focused.
That's so great. That's so great. Well, what I'd love to do is give away a couple books, and then I want to kind of open it up to questions on YouTube, specifically around business, and then too we'll talk about algorithms, stuff like that. Are you open to take a couple questions?
Yes,
Would you be willing to do that? Okay,
so
John, let's go ahead. Do we have a hashtag, John? Like, what are we doing here? So the next winner of the YouTube formula book is coming up soon. 2? Let's do 6. Let's give away 6 books, John. Come on now. So what are we gonna do? We doing the hashtag. Let's see. I can do the StreamYard. Let me see if we can do that. That might work. The giveaway tool. Is that what we're doing? Wow. Okay. Okay, John picked 2, so we're going to give away the 2 that John picked, which is good. And then we're going to use this. So let's go ahead, type in YouTube formula or YT formula, and then we'll give away some of those there as well. So John, if you wouldn't mind naming the 2 that did it, and we'll pull them up and say that you won. So let's go ahead and do that. So yeah, let's go ahead. If we can announce them, that would be great. So when you do that, and then this will give a little bit, the other people a little bit more time to use the hashtag YT formula. Okay, here we go. Mr. John, where are you at? Okay, we'll give everybody just another minute to do this. Kizzy, did you get a chance to read the YouTube formula yet?
Yeah, I have gone through the YouTube formula. I have it here.
Very good. You're good. All right. Well, I don't see John give me the recommendations. I don't know where that's at. Maybe it's in private chat. Let me see. No. So I'm gonna just go ahead. I typed it. I did not see it, John. Like I picked them and announced them. Oh, so you already announced. I don't even know who they are though. Like, okay, so whoever John picked, I just basically need you to reach out to me on X, Twitter, whatever. Just DM me. We'll get you your book from there. Oh, here it is. Here we go. It is RFF World and Nani's Place, the ministry to encourage one. Okay, there we go. So basically, gonna give both of you a book. All you need to do is reach out to me on X or on Insta. Just DM me. I will get your information, send you a book from there. And we'll do a few others that you'll actually win as well. So let's go ahead and hit the drawing here. We'll do a couple more. We're also going to talk about VidSummit here in a second. We got VidSummit coming up. But let's give away a couple books first. Okay, there we go. So all you need to do, Rajesh, is to reach out to me on Twitter, DM me. I will get you a book. It is actually a pretty good book. And I think the one that I give you is actually a signed copy, which is very rare. So I don't sign too many books here. Let's draw again. Let's give another one. And the winner is, here we go. Okay, Jackie, you just won a book. Look at you. All you did is come on a live stream and you get a book signed by me, which will be really good. Once again, just reach out to me on Twitter and DM me. That'd be great. If you don't have Twitter, just go on Instagram. I can do that as well. So, and the next one is For You for Once with Teresa. There we go. Look at that. Teresa's like crushing it here. Very good. Let's do 2 more and then we'll kick in some questions here. Here we go. And the next winner is Rich Mowers and Blowers. Here we go. That content, I don't know what it is about mowing lawn and blowers, but big TikTok followings, big YouTube followings, which is great. Hopefully your channel's doing good. So, and the last one for the YouTube formula is Jeff. So Jeff, reach out to me. Everyone that has won a book, whether it's done by John or the other, reach out to me on Twitter and we'll actually send you a signed copy of the YouTube Formula, which is a pretty great book, I must say. It is a pretty good book. Now, before we get into the questions, I want to just, we're going to be taking questions. So we'll start teeing those up. We'll answer your questions around business side of YouTube, thinking differently, things to focus in on with your viewer avatar, and all the in-betweens. Before we do, I want to basically talk about something that I'm passionate about. Kizzy, I'll bring you right back to help answer questions. But 10 years ago, I actually started a conference called VidSummit. And VidSummit was I saw this huge opportunity on the business side. I saw all these creators that are super talented, but weren't doing business related things that would help them make better decisions, to make better content, to make more money, to really leverage what they're doing here. And so I decided, you know what? I can see this creator economy coming, and I want to be able to have a platform where people are able to share what they're passionate about, because they don't normally have that platform. And so I created VidSummit to learn from the very best in the industries. In fact, my partners is Sean Duras and Mr. Beast. We just love the creator economy, and all of us leverage it in unique ways. And we love to bring the people that are just like moving the needle, that are getting the transactions, just like HopeScope, just like Wingy. We also had last year, we had Colin and Samir talk about how to get 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and they got 1 million subscribers on the stage. Like, who does that? Come on now. So for me, I love that. I love seeing people come up, just really passionate about, and then knowing that this girl, 17 years old, is now coming back as one of our speakers. Jenny, she was able to get over 1 million subscribers, well, probably close to 2 million by the time that she hits VidSummit, within a year of really understanding her strategy and how it's transformed her life, but also not only her life, but her mom's life. Her mom actually started a YouTube channel and is on that journey. And so really excited about that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play just a quick clip of VidSummit. We're going to actually, at the end of the live stream, after the end of the Q&As, I'm going to give away 2 tickets to VidSummit. 2 tickets. They're both worth $1,000 a piece. You don't want to miss that. So let me go ahead and play you a little clip of VidSummit, and then we're going to just jump on your questions. But at the end of this live stream, I'm going to give away 2 tickets to VidSummit.
coordinating my shoes.
All right, so VidSummit's coming up October 3rd through the 5th. That's actually here in a few weeks, and you don't want to miss it. It is in Dallas, Texas this year. Really, really excited for Dallas because they have amazing barbecue. Here to tell you, and they actually have a venue that will actually fit us all, which is great. Like this is the biggest venue, way bigger than we've ever had before. And ultimately, this has been one of those things that I always dreamed about, is really expanding further. And we're able to do things that we've never done before because of the location. Now, if you already have your VidSummit ticket, I'm here to tell you that if you win another one, then you can bring somebody with you. We're not going to refund anything like that. But what we will do is give you an additional ticket to invite your friends or people that you've worked with along the way, which is great. Now, VidSummit is crazy this year. We've already sold out of 3 hotels, and I wouldn't be surprised if we sold out of 4 this actual day. So there's a lot of momentum happening towards this. You don't want to miss it. If you don't win the tickets, I would still get it, because ultimately at the end of the day, there's so much value that we're actually bringing at VidSummit for you as a creator, to help you be surrounded by like-minded creators that are willing to help you. It's about creators helping creators. It's literally a culture that you don't want to miss. And then 2, this is the place where the biggest YouTubers on the planet come and learn like everyone. They get on stage and present, and they go in the audience, and they really connect. And that's what I love. I just love it. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give away 1 ticket now, and then 1 ticket at the end of all the questions. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one right here. I'm investing with Matt. Matt, guess what? You get a ticket. You already got the credit card sign up, bonus points. You already got the mileage. So you're coming. So what you need to do, Matt, is reach out to me on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it nowadays. DM me and use this time code, and we'll get you that ticket. And really excited to have you come, brother. And really excited. Now we're going to give some tickets away here for sure. I'm going to do another one just because I can. There you go. You said it'd be awesome to win tickets. You just won a ticket. All you need to do is reach out to me on Twitter, and I'll get you that VidSummit ticket for there. Now, we're going to give away a couple more just because I feel generous today. That's just the way that it is, and we'll go from there. So, okay, let's jump into the questions, but let's bring Kizzy back on. Hey, Kizzy, how you doing?
Hello, doing well.
You excited for VidSummit?
I'm super excited. Yes, I will be there. I
love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can get a few of these questions, and let's do the super chats first. So, engineer your life. Just finished your book on Audible. Amazing. Thank you for sharing. Is there a chance to get the VidSummit tickets? Is there a chance that VidSummit tickets can sell out? Yes, we've sold out every single year. Every single year for the last 4 years, we've sold out. This one, I've never seen the sales like this before. We were selling tickets, along the way. And yes, there is a chance that you will not get into the VidSummit. So I definitely would encourage you to get your tickets as soon as you can. So very, very good. Let's go here. I want to hit these super chats real quick. Okay, the next one is, I guess it's another VidSummit question, which is great. We'll take any type of questions when it comes to YouTube. Is there a replay ticket for VidSummit? I'm too far away to come in person. Yeah, all you got to do is go to vidsummit.com. There is a replay. So you can get all the replays. And ultimately, I would probably do that now, because it looks very probable that we're going to be adding a live streaming portion to it. It's going to cost more money. So get it now, and you're going to get the live stream. So that's what I would do if it was me. So there we go. Going into it, come on, there has to be. Okay, here we go. This is from The Real Deals. This is a question for you, Kizzy. Did you start with an editor before you were monetized, or literally right away?
Literally right away.
And why? I know you mentioned it before, but explain why you outsourced to editor to help you put the videos together.
I outsourced because I knew it would take way too long to figure it all out. Second, if I didn't outsource, I would never do anything. I would just sit with the content that I had. And then third, I was hopeful that this would be kind of my forever editor and that we could both grow together and the person wouldn't just look at it as, oh, this is a gig work. So.
Yeah, I love that. This next one comes from our friend Timothy. What would you do now, what you would do today if you started to earn quicker, your money quicker? Well, like, what would you change? What would you do knowing what you know now, based on what you've been able to do?
I would have put out completely different kind of content, and I would have released my challenge and our different offerings and coaching programs way earlier.
But let's kind of define that a little bit, because you were just taking action, which I think everyone needs to do. You put in your videos and you're like, hey, we need to get watch time. You started putting out videos more consistently. But the first thing that you did to transform your content was really looking at the viewer. Looking at the viewer avatar, really starting to understand them. I mean, literally going through their questions in your Facebook private group or whatever. And you're like, oh, wait, now I get it. And so you're starting to bring value to them. And so would it be, I don't know, it's kind of almost the chicken and the egg. So I feel like you needed that journey to get where you're at today, wouldn't you say?
There's nothing in life that would ever change permanently. And I needed it because that was the best way to understand what they really wanted. And it also made me understand why they connected with certain content.
Yeah, no, I love that. So let's do the next one from Marvin. Here we go. Marvin's coming on. We love Marvin. What helped with your lives? Is it the frequency or messaging when you did your live streams?
It's both. At first, I had this idea that I was going to have like this variety show, like, oh, I'll go live and entertain them and throw in some government contracting. And then I was like, wouldn't that be fun? Like some laughing mixed with government contracting meets 2023.
I just don't see that as being like, there we go.
Nobody liked that. And so I asked them, I was like, and they said, no, Kizzy, we just want you. And I was like, okay.
Oh, that's what it is.
I was like, okay, I can do that. And so then I focused more on the hows and giving them value add. And I take their questions. That's been huge.
Yeah, I think it's just like figuring out a format to connect deeper with them and taking their questions. I actually have a student, a Channel Jumpstart student, who has a law firm. And you're thinking, okay, like law firm, okay, you're thinking legal. Well, no, he did immigration law. He does immigration law. And he's like, okay, what is my content strategy? And we walked through an idea that I was like, hey, it would be really cool for you to take live calls and answer people like for free. Like this is legal advice. It's not necessarily, it's free legal advice. It's not necessarily doing it. You're just answering their questions. And you can figure out the legalese of what you need to do on that other end. And he actually started to get a lot of momentum because people were looking forward to those live streams, because he would bring someone on, he'd answer questions. If they didn't want to come on and talk, if they did want to talk, they'd bring them on StreamYard's great. Was able to pull them in with the link. And he's like having these really live shows. And he told me this and I was kind of blown away. He says, I was walking in New York City, it was in Times Square, and this white van just kind of went over the speed bump and come over into the other lane and parked right in front of me. And I thought I was going to get abducted. And these guys jump out of the van and come over. You're that lawyer that's on YouTube. And he's like, oh my gosh. They were just fans that didn't want to miss an opportunity to talk to him. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm an attorney. But what was the best was he was able to triple his income. And because YouTube was a place to connect, it brought in the right type of people, and then ultimately is leading them to helping a lot more people, because he's passionate about, really helping people that want to come into the United States legally, which is great. So, but yes, I would say consistency is key, but is bringing the value proposition, for your right viewer. So next one is coming from Corey. Corey is actually one of my favorite people in the world. Corey does all the ad buying for VidSummit. He has an amazing company. They do so much. In fact, I probably shouldn't say this, but they've done some work for Mr. Beast and, you know, some other stuff that's there. He does great. But Corey, thank you so much for the $199 super chat. Is that me getting my money back from paying you? No, I'm just joking, brother. I really do appreciate it, brother. It's great. It's great. And just because of that, I'm going to give away, just because Corey did that, I'm going to give away another ticket. And it's going to go to Call That Geek. Call That Geek. This is what you need to do. You need to thank Corey in the comments, because giving $199, I'm like, okay, we got to do that. Okay, so Call the Geek. You are coming to VidSummit. It's all because Corey made it possible. So there you go. See, that's what happens, Kizzy, when you stay on the live stream a little bit longer, is we just do random stuff all the time. Okay, let's do this next one. Low level learning. Hey, Kizzy. Kizzy is an educational channel. How do you determine what content to use to make your videos versus paid content? Thank you and congratulations on your business success.
Oh, thank you. So for the video content, I like to go into areas that are super popular, that people ask about all of the time, that I want them to say, I cannot believe she gave this away for free. That's what I want every single time, because the paid content, I know is going to take them to the next level, because a lot of the paid content are templates. It's deeper how to, it's at a different level that wouldn't exactly land well on my channel. So I'm never concerned so much about which one I'm going to put out, because I know that I have a plethora of content and information to give, because like you probably found in your space, things are always changing. Government contracting isn't stagnant. So there's always something to put out.
Well, I think there's a difference too. So like this actually leads into this question from Jason is, what's the difference in terms of actionable content between the YouTube formula and the content you get in the Channel Jumpstart program? So Kizzy actually did everything that I want someone to do, which is they found my content, and they found my book, and they read the book, and they started taking steps, and then they went into Channel Jumpstart and started to learn this. And then I'll let her answer this, because she actually spent a couple days in my house, where I invited her and some other jump starters, is what we call them, to come in, and we strategize, right? And there's a difference between the level of what you get of where you find it. So like when you find a YouTube video versus the book, and the book versus the Channel Jumpstart, and the Channel Jumpstart versus, being in the inner circle. So I'll let you answer that question, Kizzy, because you've experienced all of them. So
yeah, for Channel Jumpstart, there were two things that I found, well, there's definitely way more than two, but two that jump out as the most important. How the content was structured inside of the learning management system, I loved it. Just having that there, being able to rewatch it, to conducting the research and seeing how it's done, the examples coming to life. I love that. And then the most important, the Q&As. Yep. Because just because somebody may have a card channel, a ninja channel, a mom channel, it didn't matter. It was like their question was still relevant. The answer was still relevant. It was, how do I take that and frame it with government contracting?
Yep.
That was amazing. And then the inner circle is a whole new level. I mean,
that's where my true self comes out.
I know, but you're amazing. Your true self is amazing.
No, but so Jason, I'll answer this very, very easily. Like the framework of the book versus the framework of Channel Jumps, there is no difference. It is the system. Now there's a difference between how much context that I can give you. So this is a 300-page book. And, we go in depth on the concept, and then we actually give you in section 3 actionable steps that you need to take. These are no different than the other actionable steps that you're taking in Channel Jumpstart. The only difference would be is I'm doing a deep dive in every single principle. So it's like 8 weeks of way in-depth conversations on every single part. So instead of just taking one, I'm doing like sometimes 3 or 4 hours of really honing in on what to look for, and then give actionable steps that are a little bit more targeted to your personal situation. Where the book, I got to do it broad. I can't say, well, if you're doing this, you need to do this. You got to do this and this. It would be like a 10,000 page book, right? That's why I created the program where I could mentor someone along the way, where I could give them a little bit more understanding and then a little bit more personal direction. And then what Kizzy was saying, I can jump on and then do all the questions that are very personal for you. So it's that personal touch for it as well. So that's kind of where it is. The principles are the same. The actionable steps are the same. My goal for you to read the book is for you to have a little bit more clarity of why YouTube exists, and then 2, understanding the platform of YouTube, and then truly understanding the formula, which is leveraging the AI to understand what you're doing. And the AI, all it does is it's very intentional to the viewer. And so if you're making content for the viewer, YouTube is really trying to define who's the best viewer for that. And once you trigger that, then watch out. That's where you are able to grow, because YouTube's meant to predict what the viewer wants to watch. If your content that YouTube knows that people want to watch, they're going to go find your audience, and that's the big thing on that. So very great question. I love that. Okay. I'm going to do this other question because we're taking anything. Bean cruisers, we need hiking and travel suggestions. And they have that down now. There's all this different type of content out here, and Kizzy's in more of the educational space and is looking, look, I know what to do. I know what to engage with because I was there. What I always like to do is look at motivators. What is the motivating factor of the content creator, but also the content viewer? Usually the content creator, there's certain things, and I'm gonna use a very specific example because this one's gonna shock everyone. Okay, I create YouTube channels. I don't know if you know that. I hired this girl that was coming out of high school. She was making $120,000 a year out of high school. Okay, I needed something very specific, and she had that, right? Okay, and the channel was exploding. We were probably getting anywhere between 80 to 120 million video views a month. Things were going really well. I upped her to $225,000 a year, and she was living like, can you imagine, just being out of high school, just a couple years out of high school, not even going to college, coming to work for 4 hours a day and making $250,000. Okay, that's what I was paying. Okay, you think, oh my gosh, that's great, right? Okay, this is what happened. She comes up to me and says, hey, I want to take a sabbatical for a year. I want to buy a van and drive it across the world. And I'm like, go right ahead to do that. But you're not going to have a position when you come back. I need consistency. And these 4 hours that you're putting in, we have a whole business around this. It's not going to work. So she ended up buying a van and traveling, which that's what she wanted to do. And I don't blame her for that. Then I hired someone for $60,000 to come in and do her job. So I saved money, and we got 200 million video views a month because we had the process, we had the person that we were able to train, and we were able to do it. So I didn't care. I just couldn't believe it. But that's what she needed to do. Now, she spent her 18 months and traveled the world in her van down by the river or whatever, came back and asked for a job. I didn't give her one because I need consistency. Okay, now, I know that's not your question. Your question is, we need suggestions. So there's a motivation for the person, the content creator that's going out and traveling, and then there's a motivating factor for the viewer. What we need to do is figure out both. We got to figure out your motivator, why are you doing the hikes and the travels? That creates story, and that story weaves into a viewer. But the viewer itself, why are they watching? Do they like to see the dynamic of what you're doing? Is it van life? Is that the whole thing? Is it a little bit more about discovering new things or putting your life on pause, walking away from a whole bunch of money to go live in a van and travel from place to place, and you're experiencing these journeys? That's what you need to kind of go in and look at. For me, I like to look at scenarios that could lead to videos that could be consumed as standalone, but it's telling a bigger story where they're getting more and more engaged with that. So that being said, I like to look at hikes and suggestions that make sense. So I actually live at the foot of Zion National Park. So I'm surrounded by 5 national parks within about an hour and a half, Grand Canyon and all this other stuff, just right close to me. And I can tell you, there are hikes that no one knows about, that only if you're a local that you know. Okay. And so those are the types of things. So that could be a suggestion of like only going for what the locals do, and you're trying to figure out, can you glean that information? So maybe you're going into all the local places where people are and trying to figure out where the best hikes are, or if you can get into it, or if it's closed, or whatever it may be, or it's like even going to an auction site so that you can get, your permit to do it. I mean, there's just so many different things. And so for me, I just want you to focus more on your why you're doing this, you're traveling, and then focusing on what the viewer is going to get. If it's the vicarious adventure with you, because they're stuck in an office and they wish they could do it, that's one thing. It could be just, I really like the dynamic of new things, new places, trying new things, new places. That's another dynamic. And it could be just they like to see content and wish they were on a trip themselves. That's another dynamic. For me, when I come to traveling, I like culture, I like food, I like people. I would rather be in the culture than on some targeted tourist area. So it all depends. So I just like really focus in on that side of it, of like your why, but also the why of the viewer. You might need to ask questions in your videos to have conversations to get that to come out. You might need to pull surveys in your community tab. That's what I would do if it was me. So, wow. That was like the longest answer of all time. Kizzy's like, I don't know what to do with this. All right, so there we go. Yeah, it's still insane walking away out of high school without making that much money. I don't understand. I just don't understand. Okay, let's see. Let's do a couple more questions here. Okay, here is a question. Tis hot mess history. If I can only do Jumpstart or VidSummit, which would you recommend for me to level up? I have 100,000 subs, want to change my life, may have a VidSummit ticket for my birthday. And if you do that, is that going to help with your channel Jumpstart? Look, here's the thing. I've seen both create opportunities. Like I've seen VidSummit. It connected the dots for a lot of content creators that are there that help them go. Channel Jumpstart is 12 weeks of me mentoring you. And we have a whole system where we have accountability groups, we have accountability coaches. It's just a whole system, right? VidSummit is a place where all the content creators come together one time a year. And it's all they're focusing in is on not the creator fan experience, but how you can actually level up as a content creator. That's what it's all about. So I mean, I'll tell you what. Go through the application process at Channel Jumpstart. I'll throw in a ticket to VidSummit. That's the least I can do. If you're a part of this transformative journey of Channel Jumpstart, because I'm here to tell you, Channel Jumpstart it's not even in the same stratosphere, because you get that personalized attention. And if you're willing to be like Kizzy to take action, we'll go from there. Now, when you do, you'll be probably talking to Justin or Jackson. Just let them know about this video and point it to 1 hour, 28 minutes into it. So, okay, Kizzy, I know that let's take 2 more questions. Is that okay? And I'm going to give away 1 more ticket. You okay with that?
Yeah, of
If
course.
you have a question for Kizzy, go ahead and put it in the comments here. Let's see if we can do this. People are wanting to come to VidSummit. That's good news, right? Okay. Here we go. Okay, just to the limit. Daryl, what does Kizzy tell her editor? So Kizzy, this is a question for you. What do you tell your editor when she wants each video to come out? What can we use in StreamYard's generator to, oh, she won another ticket. But okay, let's talk about the the editor? Like, how do you give your editor notes? And then two, how do you actually work with your editor?
So we largely use Google Drive and we use Telegram to communicate. He had access to Channel Jumpstart, and then he's also going through various trainings. So he understands the method. And so it's more of we bounce ideas off of each other. I record. I usually allow them to have all creative liberties. There are times where I'll have something way more specific and scripted, and I just put it in a Google sheet and break it down for them. But it's I look at it like at this point in time, what they've done has helped take me to that next level, and so I'm not as involved. But it's your own personal preference as far as how you want to engage with your editor.
Yeah, love it. And then follow-up question, how did you find your editor? What did you do?
I created a video where I asked if anyone was interested. And at this time, I don't even know if I had 1,000 subscribers. And I just posted it and said, I'm looking for an editor. I may have also posted a link to it on LinkedIn. And I gave specific instructions as far as what I wanted from them. And MD not only met that, but he kept following up. And I like that because I wasn't exactly ready at that point in time. I was still doubting myself and no, I'll put it off. And so I finally was like, okay, let me take a look at this. And I was like, this is really good. And his brother had a channel with way more subscribers than what I had. And I thought, okay, this is perfect. And so we've been working together now for about, oh my goodness, like several years on different things.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. Also, I mean, we get some great things. People love this stream. They're coming on and they're getting some great ideas for the business side. And they're like, some of them are like even reevaluating. I'm like going through some of this whole thing. How do you actually do pay structure for your editor? Like what, like, cause I mean, here you are like, oh, what am I going to do? And I know that you've built and scaled businesses before, so you understand some employment. And when you're looking at contracted labor, like how did you know what to pay?
I literally base it off of what Graham Stephan said he was paying his editor. I'm like, if this is what Graham Stephan's paying, he has millions of subscribers and I don't, I'll pay something similar. And I started out with that, and then I added an incentive. I said, once we get over $5,000 in ad revenue, I'll give you 10%. And then I said, once we hit another milestone, I'll give you 15%. Because again, I look at this as a long-term relationship. And so we finally hit over 5,000 last month.
Great. That's so great.
So he got his bonus and he gets a flat rate. And then he brought in his brother, who is super talented. And so then the brother invoices and we got family affair going on. And that's how we operate.
That's so great. That's so great. Okay. What's the biggest thing you learned about yourself from creating content through your own journey?
Oh my, there's been so much. I think the biggest thing I've learned is just to continue laughing at myself. It's like, I'll go live and then my tripod breaks, or I think, oh, this is going to go perfect. And the lighting. So it's just like constantly laughing at myself and just running with it and remembering it's about each and every one of us. We're all unique. We're all gifts of God and from God. And so it's just being yourself. And that's how I look at it.
Yeah. I kind of look at, when you really look at yourself and you're kind of honing in on that, I think that's great. And I think too, it's just more the reason why I'm doing this on a Saturday. I am busy. Kizzy, you're busy. And we kind of put our life on hold right now, just so that we can have a conversation. And my goal was, like, I don't want millions and millions and millions of views on my videos. I don't. I'm already past that phase. What I do want is the right type of inspiration going and connecting with that one viewer. And that's what I want. And I knew that your story might be different than another YouTuber story, right? And it's going to connect based on where you're at. Like, there's not a lot of creators that immediately hire hire an editor. They just don't. They're just like, I can't afford it, can't go down that whole thing. But you're like, no, Graham Stephan said, did it. I'm doing what Graham's doing, right? Okay, great. It worked for you, you know. And I want to give inspiration to people, you know. And for me, my why is, you know, long gone over. It's like for me, I truly do want to elevate people's understanding of what the potential is to YouTube, because it's literally transformed my life. It has, and I want that to do it for others. That's kind of this innate desire. That's why I started VidSummit. That's why I'm doing these live streams. You know, I literally don't have time. I don't have time to do YouTube videos. I don't have time to even do this, but I make this a priority because I'm like, you know what? I can do this maybe once or twice a month. That's what I've been doing, you know, and I've been pretty consistent at it, you know, over the last maybe year, but it's just like, I can at least do that. And so for me, that's kind of my why. And I think that's that passion and love. And I think you got to figure out why you're doing things on YouTube. Like if like I own 9 businesses, if I just only focused in on my YouTube channel, this would be a game over. Like I just do so much in all this other stuff. That's what I like to do. So, you know what, this to jump on a Saturday to interview someone that I like, you know, is great. You know, there you go. We like each other, Kizzy.
Yes, we do. We do. So excited.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's do one last question and then let's give a ticket away. Because I said I was only going to do 2, but it seems like I got suckered into giving out more. So, okay. Good question. Good question. Okay, here we go. Do you personally evaluate your video edits and discuss it with your editor?
I do, and we'll discuss thumbnails. They really are meticulous about the data now.
Good.
And
because they've gone through my training on what they need to look at, right?
Yes. Yeah. And then they'll just make the changes. Like I'll look on my channel. I'm like, oh, the thumbnail changed. Okay. And then they'll explain. But I love that because I have other things that I have to do. And if I spent all my time on my YouTube channel, it wouldn't make me happy, and it would take away from what I'm doing. I need a balance.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. So I think the big thing for all of us is when it's a team effort, it's having team motivation. So what I love what Kizzy's done is having motivating factor for them to want to improve. Like there's certain people that just want to improve every time. And then there's people that are incentivized to improve every time. And you put that atmosphere of, hey, I'm not going to hold back. Like as we succeed, we're going to succeed, and you're going to succeed, and you're going to get bonuses. And so you're able to experience that first bonus check coming in. That got them super motivated now, and they're like, okay, we want more of this, right? That's unexpected, right? And so that's where it's all with it. I can tell you right now, I've done so much, and it's if you're a content creator and you don't create your content, I think you're doing everyone a disservice. And so part of that is working with people that are better than you at editing, but you need to understand the audience better than they do. So that's how you re-edit and say, oh, it'd be better if we did this here, or be better if we put this there. That's what it's all about. So, okay. Here we go. Last VidSummit giveaway is going to Diego. I know you live in Dallas, Diego. You're a party for, and you get a free ticket. So you got a ticket that'll help everything out. Let's go ahead, have you DM me on X, Twitter, whatever they're calling that, and use this time code, and Diego will get you another pass because you're in Dallas. That was great. Really excited to be in Dallas this year. Now, I can tell you my biggest push at VidSummit is this. I have seen lives transform in ways that they can never imagine. They met the right person, or they were part of the right type of conversations. You know, there's certain things that were said on stage that had further context as people were at the bar talking about these ideas. Partnerships were formed, you know, money is made. It's just great. And the great thing about it, it's meant for the creator that's willing to give. What I love about VidSummit and the VidSummit culture is people are always willing to give as much as they take. And that's what I wanted. I wanted, you know, people wanted to bring in positivity, and they're giving feedback. I remember one of the attendee, this is several years ago, was like leaning over and talking to this guy and says, "Hey, you want to take a look at my video?" And he goes, "Oh, your video sucks, and this is what you need to improve, and whatever." This guy that was giving him advice, he didn't know, but he had like 6 million subscribers, right? And here he is giving him advice, and he goes, "Oh, that's so great." And then that person that was giving him advice actually became the biggest YouTuber of all time. It's Mr. Beast. Like he was the attendee giving advice, and now they're friends. It's just like, okay, this is crazy. It's just like at the end of the day, you never know who you're sitting by, and ultimately, it's a culture of giving. And so, really excited for all of you that are coming. I'm telling you guys, this is the VidSummit you don't want to miss. We have so many things that are happening in person that can't happen virtually. And so if you can make it, here's the dates, 3rd through the 5th. It's in Dallas, Texas. We did it at a central location for the people on the East Coast, West Coast, you know, and internationally. We did it in a hub where it's not too far away from you to just experience what VidSummit's all about. So guys, thank you so much for jumping on. If you're interested in my book, there's a link in the description below. Also, there's a free 30-day challenge. I'd encourage you to do it. Kizzy, thank you so much for jumping on. One last bit of advice from you. What would it be?
Just take action. That's what you got to take action. Go to the summit, sign up for Channel Jumpstart, get the book. Just take action. Don't overthink it. Just take action.
And that's what you did, and that's how you're able to make that short amount, or that a large amount of money in a short amount of time. So guys, thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everyone.